How's it? Well, welcome back. So I wanted to highlight a hypnagogic meditation entry technique that can work pretty good and I was making use of the other day when I was taking a nap. And so all you got to do for this is start paying attention and see what type of mental imagery seems to be easy for you to conjure up for whatever reason. And so something I started to notice years ago when I started to purposefully pay attention to this space is that pretty often the first actual flash of an image that I would get and actually pop up and be visual would be like mountain type nature scenery related. And this is also when I began to realize that you can actually start to kind of influence and control this liminal dream space as well. So like when the first flash of an image pops up, pretty often it won't stay there and be steady and be moving or anything. It'll be like literally like a flash, right? And then it disappears. So what I would do is I would just kind of set the intention to see another mountain type scenery. Now I'm not trying to get a specific type of mountain scenery. I'm just trying to set the intention to be like any kind of mountain type scenery. And then I think another reason why this can be good is it can get your attention pointed in a specific direction, where as opposed to if you're just waiting for any random image to pop up, it can be hard to catch sometimes and really notice. But when you're specifically looking for a certain type of imagery, when it does pop up, it can be easier to notice. So anyway, as I was taking a nap the other day, I was already pretty tired, so I could tell I was going to start to fall asleep quickly. And so within several minutes, 5 minutes or so, I wasn't trying to control the imagery yet though. And I just see the first flash of an image. It was of like this mountain type view, almost like a pulled back view, like if you were in a drone or flying above it or whatever. But then when it did flash up, there was like a sense of movement to it as well, which I think that can happen sometimes if you're just like really damn tired, right? So the movement is actually what threw me out, kind of kicked me out of it. So then I decided, okay, I'll start trying to purposefully set this intention to see a mountain type scenery. And then it was going back and forth where I would see it. Normally the movement would kick me out again, see it, kick me out. That went on for a while. I eventually got kind of lazy with it and started just drifting off and not paying attention and getting too tired or whatever. And then the next thing I know, I did end up having a lucid dream at this point too, but it wasn't a while because I didn't get to witness the transition. But like next thing I know is like I'm walking around the house, right? I'm trying to show this other person or dream character in the house like this picture on the wall of me. And so when I go to look at the picture on the wall, like once they get there and I go to show it to them, I realize I'm in the picture and the picture is moving like it's actually like, me in there. And I'm thinking, huh? That's weird. Anyway, that's when I got lucid. And then it was super short-lived because I tried to do something that I probably shouldn't have. So it's like, oh, hey, watch this. I'll try like go into myself into the picture. And then once I did that, it kind of just kicked me out of it. Then I looked at the clock. It was about an hour of lying down. I figured, okay, that's about all the time I had for my nap anyway. And then I woke up. But anyway, so that's a decent hypnagogic meditation entry technique. You can give it a try. And that's it. Until the next video, keep your hypnagogic meditation practice legit. How's it? Well, welcome back. So I was playing around in stage 1 of sleep hypnagogia the other day as I was taking a nap. And I noticed some things about the early stage imagery that I thought I would bring up in case, there's anyone out there trying to get comfortable with and learn more about this liminal dreaming space, to kind of give you an idea on what to be on the lookout for as you get deeper into this state. And so when the first more like full-on images started to pop up, right? So not like a center point or soft diffuse lighter spots within the blackness or a starry night sky, but the first like full-on images start coming, is that when they were popping up this time, it wasn't colored like it can be sometimes. For me, it'll be colored and kind of in like a smaller spot of the blackness. This was more full screen, but it was almost more like an impression of an image. It was like an impression of the image kind of like popping out in the blackness. And it wasn't so much of a see it thing. It was kind of more like a feel it thing that I started to notice. And then I would notice that I would kind of wake up too much. It would all black out. But once you get to that point, you're right on the edge of like full on stage 1 of sleep. So just relax, keep breathing through it. The images will start to pop up again. And then eventually they'll build out to, full on colored images. And then eventually like a moving image, like you're watching a full screen, movie or something like that. But something else that was helping me kind of get these images to pop up, because I knew I was like right on the edge of it. And so in time to my breath, and this is essentially like a version of my whole play dead technique, which I've covered a lot on the channel. Quick recap of that is the way I like to do it, at least, is at the bottom of my exhale. And I'll sometimes time this with my heartbeat as well. If you're wearing earplugs, you can hear and feel your heartbeat pretty easily. But at the very bottom of my exhale, in between the heartbeats, I'll try just to turn off and play dead. A lot of times that will be the moment when these images start to pop up. But instead of specifically focusing on the whole heartbeat thing and trying to actually play dead, I was kind of coming at it from just imagining that I'm fainting and just going completely limp and just like toppling over. even though I'm lying down at this point. And a lot of times as I would do that, I would get the sense of movement to kind of come along with it, which can be distracting and cause you to wake up a lot of times too, but it's a pretty cool sensation to feel. But I would get a little sense of movement, and then that impression of the image would pop up. And then that at least gives you a nice thing to kind of hold as your object of attention and just kind of have it pop up. It disappears, no problem. Breathe a little bit more, and then when you're feeling it, try to faint again, see if it pops up, and then it just gives you a nice thing to kind of return to, and then eventually build it out until it is the more full-on colored image that's moving like a movie. But anyway, hope that helps somebody. And yeah, that is it. Until the next video, keep your liminal dreaming hypnagogic meditation practice legit.